So today is an exciting day because we are going to pick up new tires for the FJ. Let's go. So I just got a call from the shop telling me that the tires have been mounted and balanced. So we're on our way to pick them up right now. And a big thanks to this video sponsor, Motomaster Eliminator, found exclusively at Canadian Tire. Soon I'll be running the Motomaster Eliminator X-Trail all-terrain tires, and we will see just how well they fare against the market equivalents. So all the stuff in the back's been cleared, and hopefully I can fit all the tires in here. This is the tire. I also want to thank the Canadian Tire Newmarket team for the above and beyond service to get these tires mounted and balanced properly. And another shout out as well to Mike from Newmarket and Aurora Toyota for helping me out with some important replacement parts so that I can get a proper alignment done afterwards. Amazing people and great service. Definitely recommend them if you ever need anything. Okay. So my current set of tires are the BFG KO2 all-terrains in 256/75 R16, and I think that works out to be 31 and a half. Check my math. These are Motomaster's Eliminator X-Trail all-terrain tires in 285/70 R17, which is the equivalent of a 33-inch tire. The day's finally come! The Eliminator sub-brand of Motomaster is intended to be tougher for the harsher climate in Canada. So we're going to be installing these 33s on my FJ Cruiser and go over an initial comparison between my current KO2 set and the new Motomaster X-Trail set. Now, after I install this set on the FJ, I will be taking it over to British Columbia and I will be going off-road and putting these tires to the test. So there's going to be a more comprehensive video coming in the future. I'm actually really excited about these X-Trails, and it's not because Motomaster is sponsoring this video, but it's because I really want them to do well. These tires are at a much more affordable price point. It's supposed to perform just as well, if not better than the market equivalents, and they're also made by Cooper Tire, which is a reputable tire manufacturer. If these perform well, then everyone wins, even the Haas F1 team. All right, I can't wait any longer. Let's go put these babies on. And a big shout out to all my coffee supporters. Coffee is like Patreon, but they don't charge a commission on the transactions. A huge shout out to my No Don't tier subscriber, Caliboy GX, who is the only person able to tell if an egg is hard-boiled or raw just by looking at it. Additional shoutouts to Jessica, Jade, Wade, Nathan, Alex, Adrian, and hey, it's Steve for your monthly support. I wouldn't be able to continue doing this without you guys. If you want to help me out as well, please check out the link above or in the description below. Alright, back to the show. For this video's question, what tires and wheels are you currently running? Would you give these X-Trails a try? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, so let's see how they compare on paper. Both the KO2 and the X-Trail have that aggressive sidewall that helps with traction in off-road applications. And they look great. My previous KO2s were load range E, and I was able to get load range E in the X-Trails as well. They also both bear the 3 peak mountain snowflake symbol, which is to say that they are both rated for winter, and theoretically should perform well in snow and icy conditions. And they both smell like tires, and they both feel like tires. Now, for the key differences, one of the first things you'll notice is the price point. For my tire size, each KO2 costs about $290, whereas the X-Trail is $50 cheaper at about $240 per tire. So that's about $250 in savings for a set of 5 tires. And on top of that, these X-Trails typically go on sale at Canadian Tire. So that's even more savings. Generally speaking, KO2s don't really go on sale. Now, another key difference is the stated tire life. BFG states that the KO2s have a tire life of about 50,000 miles, which roughly rounds to about 80,000 kilometers. And the Motomaster X-Trails have a tire life of about 90,000 kilometers. So that's 10,000 kilometers more that you'll be able to get out of them. That's like an entire oil change interval. The Motomaster X-Trails also have a more aggressive siping pattern on their tires compared to the KO2s. And this is supposed to help in wintertime under snowy and icy conditions. The new X-Trail tires are also made with adaptive trail technology, which means that this tire is supposed to perform well in any season. And another key difference is the previous generation BFG KOs were featured in the original Jurassic Park. Bet you didn't know that. And between these 2 tires, the KO2s are the only tires that have the white wall, or white lettering, if you will. All right, so that's as far as the on-paper comparisons go. Let's go into real-world testing. Now, for this category, I've been able to drive these tires across Canada. I'm in Calgary right now, and here are my findings in these following categories. First, fuel economy. For undisturbed highway driving, I found that the fuel economy for these new X-Trails were very comparable to the KO2s. The range per tank between these 2 sets of tires were too close to tell of any differences, which is a really good thing considering the gas prices nowadays. Next, we have comfort. Now, I know my KO2s are old, but I had a chance to sit in a vehicle that had fairly new KO2s for this comparison. Between the two, I would say the Motomaster X-Trails had a cushier and comfier ride. This could be due to the X-Trails' extra siping, the adaptive trail technology that we touched on earlier, or both. Then we have road noise. And this is probably one of the categories that most of you guys are interested in. So I've tested the noise level at 50, 80, and 110 kilometers per hour for both these sets of tires. And here are the results. At 50 kilometers per hour, the KO2s averaged 71.2 decibels, whereas the X-Trails averaged 69.4 decibels. At 80 kilometers an hour, the KO2s averaged 73.5 decibels, and the X-Trails averaged 71.1 decibels. And at 110 kilometers, the KO2s averaged 77.3 decibels, and the X-Trails averaged 75.6 decibels. So taking a look at these results, the X-Trails performed on average about 2 decibels lower than the KO2s in all the speed categories, which is quite impressive because the KO2s, when they came out, were already touted as a pretty quiet all-terrain tire. So good job, Motomaster. Next, we're gonna talk about dry traction on pavement. Now, I'm not gonna be doing any hard brake testing on public roads, but what I can tell you is for regular driving and regular to semi-hard braking applications, both these tires performed pretty much the same. They were too close for me to be able to tell any differences. Now, the extra siping may have added more traction, but yeah, I really couldn't tell in dry conditions. And lastly, wet traction on pavement. And I'm going to have to say the same thing. Both these tires were pretty similar in performance under regular driving conditions, and I wasn't really able to tell the differences between the two. Now, the X-Trail does have extra siping that should help for more traction, and it has a slightly deeper tread depth of 1/16 of an inch, which should help with water channeling. But I haven't spent too much time in wet weather yet, so I will provide more feedback on this later on in the season. Now, that's it for my initial feedback for these tires. Overall, they've been performing really well. My initial feedback is very positive. If the new Motomaster X-Trails look like KO2s and they perform like KO2s and they're cheaper, I don't see why anyone wouldn't be picking a set of these for their next replacements. Now, there are 3 more categories that I haven't been able to test yet, which involve snow and going off-road. But I am in the mountains right now, and I will be taking these new tires on all of the upcoming adventures and expeditions. So be on the lookout. You'll get to see them in action, and you'll get to see just how far we can push them in the remote, rocky landscape of the Canadian Rockies. I am as excited as you are to find out. So make sure you stay tuned and you do not miss a thing. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you love these videos, as well as all my adventure videos, help me out by subscribing, liking, and leaving me a comment below. It is with your help that I can continue doing this. You guys rock. I'll catch you guys in the next one.